Hello, this is JG and this is podcast Unical, Codependency No More. Oh yeah, that's it. Welcome to Unico, the university for or to the codependent. What is codependency? Codependency can be found very well described in the book of Melody Beattie. That is, the link of the book is in the link for you to purchase the book is in the description of this video. But before you see the description of this video, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like the video, and turn on the little bell to get notifications all the time. Today we will be talking. I have a special guest with me, Mr. Harold Flynn, a psychologist from Akron, Ohio. He works with in a social program for victims of people who have been victim of domestic violence and everything. And then we will be talking about the challenges of detecting covert narcissist partners, and everything you need to know. It's gonna be here, I promise. Well, it's a little bit maybe it's maybe too much to say you will have everything. Well, let me correct that. Maybe you will have almost everything you need to know, especially because the covert narcissists, I myself consider the most dangerous type of narcissist. And here we go. So let me introduce to you Mr. Harold Flynn, and I'd like to ask him a question. But before I ask him a question, I have something important to say. Relationships can be complex, but when you're dealing with a covert narcissist, the complexity reaches a whole new level. This video is for you who is trying to understand whether or not you've been married or you've been with a covert narcissist. Identifying a covert narcissist partner is not easy at all. Their manipulative tactics are often subtle, and their true nature is well hidden behind a facade of charm and altruism. So this podcast is for you who is trying to find out whether or not you are married, you've been married, and detect a covert narcissist, or if you're trying to detect a covert narcissist at work or a relative, what signs to look out for, and why breaking away from such a relationship can be incredibly challenging.
And we're fine. Thank you very much for being here with you as well. Well, I'm a community psychologist, and I work with people who have been traumatized by violent relationships. And one of the most difficult individuals to deal with is definitely the covert narcissist, because it is a form of narcissistic personality disorder that is less obvious than its overt counterpart. While overt narcissists are easy to spot due to their blatant need for admiration and attention, covert narcissists are more insidious, so they often present themselves as humble and selfless, which makes their manipulative and controlling behavior much harder to recognize.
How do they do that? How can we really recognize the pattern or the standards?
These individuals are masters at hiding their true selves, making it difficult for those around them to see their manipulative ways of acting. The covert narcissist may appear caring, supportive, and even vulnerable, but underneath this exterior lies a deep need for control, power, and superiority. And this is extremely, extremely harmful.
Yeah, really, really harmful. I happen to agree with you, because it's pretty much like I've been watching many videos of animal attack. There's this page, there's this Instagram profile I follow, animal attack, and sometimes people take for granted the appearance of the animal. I see some people, for example, visiting Australia and thinking that the kangaroos are cute animals. They don't know that they can really punch you on the face. They can really kick you in the ass, and it's really hard. But in terms of narcissism, there are subtle signs of a covert narcissist. And one of the reasons it's so challenging to identify a covert narcissist is because their behaviors often seem positive on the surface. They may go out of their way to help you. They can offer you financial support. They can appear deeply invested in your well-being. However, these actions usually come with hidden reasons, hidden motives. And I'd like you to tell us a little bit about the signs that you might be dealing with a covert narcissist.
I'll get started with the first thing is false humility and altruism. Covert narcissists often disguise their need for superiority through acts of humility and altruism. And they do that very well, looking like they're interested in helping others. But this is usually just a strategy to gain admiration and control. And the second thing is emotional manipulation. The covert narcissists are experts at manipulating emotions. They might express concern and affection to gain your sympathy, all while harboring feelings of resentment and envy. They can be really, really mad at you, but they are going to be expressing affection in front of everybody just to give them the impression that you really care. And the third thing is inconsistent behavior. Their actions often don't match their words, so pay attention to what they do and not what they say. They might promise a bright future but fail to take concrete steps toward achieving it. This inconsistency can leave you confused and questioning your own judgment. And you might feel like many times you're the problem and the fault is yours, and this is exactly what they want. They want you to feel confused. Number 4, I can say something about victim mentality, the mindset. Covert narcissists often play the victim to manipulate others. They might blame you for the failures or claim that their manipulative behaviors is a result of their difficult past. Oh, you know how hard it was for me when I was a child. I was abused, or I was this, I was that. So they keep telling their story over and over again, especially in front of the children. And children will what? The child leave the nest, and they will still hear the same stories when you get back together, Christmas dinners or stuff like that. And finally, number 5, I think that one of the dirtiest one is the subtle control tactics. Like covert narcissists. Covert narcissists are subtle control tactics. They use subtle control tactics, I mean. They might undermine your confidence by making you doubt your abilities or subtly discourage you from pursuing your goals. And, well, my friend, I can tell you that it's like living with an enemy, but you don't know that the enemy lives like right beside you, sleeping on the same bed with you. Mm-hmm. This is terrible.
Yeah, really, really terrible. And even when you begin to recognize the signs of a covert narcissist, breaking free from the relationship can be incredibly difficult. And one reason is the emotional bond that has been built over time. I'm talking about people who have been married sometimes maybe 25, 30, 35, 40 years together. And covert narcissists are skilled at creating dependency in their victims, making it hard for them to imagine life without the narcissist. Another factor that I would like to consider based on what you said is the confusion and the self-doubt that the narcissist instills in their victims. You may find yourself constantly questioning whether you're overreacting or if the problem is truly with you, as you said previously. This is often exacerbated by the narcissist's ability to appear caring, concerned, and everything, making you feel guilty for even considering leaving the relationship. And that's the hardest part, because I remember the words of my brother. My brother said something interesting one day to me. We were having this conversation, and my brother said, you know what it's like to be a codependent? It's when you feel guilty, although you know you're doing the right thing. And additionally, the fear of facing life alone or the concern about the impact on children or family members can make it even more challenging to make the decision to leave. So I can conclude that covert narcissists are experts at making you feel like you're the one at fault, which can paralyze you from taking action. So I'd like you to tell us, well, what can a person do to find the courage, to find the guts to move on? Because recognizing you're in a relationship with a covert narcissist is really important. It's crucial. It's the first step, but it's not easy. It's not really easy to understand and pay attention to the reality of the situation, rather than the words you've said previously or the promises of the narcissist. Can you give us some tips on how to take steps ahead and move on?
Well, steps you can take in order to gain control of your life is, number one, reflect on your life. Consider how your life has changed since you started the relationship. Has your confidence diminished? Have you had to give up on dreams, goals, or relationships? These reflections can help you see the negative impact the relationship is having on your life. They're important to think about it. The second thing I would see for professional help, a therapist or a counselor can provide valuable support as you navigate your way out of a relationship. It can help you understand the dynamics of narcissistic abuse and develop a plan to move forward. Number three, it's really hard, but it's essential to build a support system. Surround yourself with people who care about you and can provide emotional support. Isolation is a common strategy used by covert narcissists, so reconnecting with friends and family is essential. And number four, set boundaries. If you decide to stay in the relationship for any reason, it's important to establish and maintain clear boundaries. This can help you protect your emotional and mental well-being. Finally, the last but not the least, number five, prioritize your well-being. Ultimately, your happiness and well-being should be your top priority. Don't be afraid to put yourself first and make the decision that's best for you, even if it's difficult. That's what I have to say, and I hope it can help all the listeners from this channel here.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Well, Mr. Harold Flynn, thank you so much for the participation. As you can notice, listeners, detecting a covert narcissist is challenging, is not easy, but understanding the signs and trusting your instincts can help you recognize the red flags. Because sometimes I think to myself, okay, I got a bunch of yellow flags, but what can I do with yellow flags? I can't do anything until I have the red flags. Once you have collected a lot of red flags, you have to make sure you deserve to be in a relationship where you're valued, respected, and genuinely cared for. And if you're in a relationship with a covert narcissist, know that it's okay to seek help and take the steps necessary to protect your well-being. You can start helping yourself by taking a look at the description of this video, click on the link and get the book, Codependency No More, the name of the book, okay? Thank you very much, Mr. Harold Flynn. I really appreciate your participation.
Thank you also for letting me be part of the show. I hope you have success in the channel. My clinic is Akron, Ohio, and I don't assist my patients or mine, so I don't think your resident patients will be able to travel to Ohio just to see me, but I can recommend you. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much for your participation once again. And that's it, people. This is the end of the podcast number 14 from Unico Codependency No More. See you next time. Bye-bye.